So with that being said, I'm going to play a couple of videos. None of these videos are super lengthy, and I might scroll through them a little bit more quickly. And none of them have sound, so if you're not hearing anything, don't be alarmed. So this first one I'm going to show you is of a building search. And so what we do when we're going to search a building with an unmanned aerial system is oftentimes we're going to not know whether there is a bad guy in this building that we're searching. And rather than send officers in there, puts them in danger and puts them in rooms with bad guys, we'll send a UAS system in there and have them look around first, make sure that it's as safe as it can be, but then we'll send the officers in. But the UAS is unable to find everything or see in every little corner, so we will have to have officers come in. So this was an assist to Edmonds. Right there in the upper right, you can see an officer who has taken position on a stairwell, and he's going to stand by there while we send the UAS down and take a look around and see what we can see. You can see the shadow of what that looks like, and you can see there's propeller guards on those, so if it bumps into the wall, it won't automatically crash. This particular video was quite lengthy, so we split it up into sections to give it an idea. Give you just a kind of a short idea of what this looks like. Our systems have lights on it. They have blinky lights, so officers can see the system when it's flying up in the air, and it has headlights on it, so it can see in dark rooms. Obviously, now when you see this in a lighted room, you get a much better perspective and picture. So this next very short video is our Studio 6 motel. And I just went too far. There we go. So I'm going to back this up a little bit. So this particular situation, you obviously have a lot of officers here, right? So there was most likely a suspect potentially inside, and the officers didn't want to just go in there in this very, very small environment, so we were able to send our UAS in there with the drone pilot, giving them a real-time view of what that looks like. You can also see what they were snacking on. So now, most of the officers know these rooms very well, so they have a pretty good idea where the closets and the bathrooms are. They're fairly small. So our system was not able to get into the closet, just to the left there. So officers will actually have to go in and clear that. And then in the bathroom, with the particular system that we were using, it was not the best for hitting walls. This was a different one than the one that can hit a wall or fall to the ground, or hit a wall or open doors or flip over. So we weren't able to actually go all the way into the bathroom to check around the corner. So the officers would have to clear part of it. I can fast forward because that's pretty much all I need to see on that one. And then finally, as far as what we're currently using is this. So I'm going to freeze frame this here right now. So this is a training that we did, and we call this it's either called a high risk stop or an unknown risk stop, where we're pulling a car over that potentially has violent felons in it, or it's a stolen vehicle, something that we're suspecting that some sort of danger could happen. We've talked about time, distance, and shielding a lot. This is a really, really good example of that. When we run into these situations, slowing down is very important. There's as long as the driver is cooperative, there's no need to rush this at all. And we could take all the time in the world. Distance, obviously, they're standing back behind their cars. The old school training used to be we would be right up in the door frame. As soon as you open the door, we'd be right up there. And we decided, actually, some of our tactical officers have decided that standing behind the cars is actually much better. So that gives us our distance and shielding. So that's kind of where that comes, is time, distance, and shielding. And this is where the drone really, really helps us with this. The drone pilot is actually, you can't see them. They're actually behind where you're looking right now. So I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit more quickly and just fast forward through some of the stuff that as important for you to see, but this is our pretend bad guy. They're being cooperative, so the officers are calling them out all the way to the point where they're going to be taken into custody. Then we can send our drone. I'll use that word. Well, I'm probably not supposed to, but I will. We'll take a look and see what it can see for us while the officers are still standing behind their vehicles. So as you see, as this system kind of does a 360 around the vehicle, you can see right into the vehicle, and you can see clearly that there's nobody in the front seat of the vehicle. This particular car has a slanted front hood. If it didn't have as slanted of a hood, you would be able to actually land it right on the hood facing in the front window of the vehicle and look right in the whole time while the officers approach. So this gives you an idea of what it looks like from, I guess, the bad guy's perspective. You can see with the bright lights and everything how that's pretty effective. So you'll be able to see this go right up to the front window and then search around. Oftentimes cars have tinted windows. Unfortunately, these cameras can't see through tinted windows that great. This particular car does not. So we'll be able to look right inside. And the drone operator is in the back and he's saying, all right, crew, there's nobody in the car. And you guys can go ahead and approach it. They'll still approach it tactically to make sure it's safe. They'll still check the trunk to make sure that there's nobody hiding in the trunk, which seems silly, but sometimes they do. So this is a good sample of what we're actively using right now with this program.